The 6 philosophies of India represent the 6 basic methods or approaches of studying the world and the spiritual life in ancient India. And these provide the historical framework for the development of Ayurveda. Hi, my name is John Immel, and I'm the director of Joyful Belly Ayurveda, and this is what I look like. Have you ever heard of the 5 elements, or the gunas, or the idea that you should be balanced in Ayurveda? Have you studied Ayurveda's methods of assessment or examination? Well, the theory behind all of these comes from the 6 philosophies. Just think of the influence that Western science has had on Western medicine, and you'll see how the 6 philosophies really fleshed out Ayurvedic medicine. In Western medicine, it's the scientific method that helps doctors understand whether something is true or not, or whether some form of treatment is effective or not. And similarly, the 6 philosophies of India shaped Ayurvedic medicine. The 6 philosophies are 6 ways of seeing. And in India, the 6 philosophies are called Shad Darshana. Darshan means to see, while Shad means 6. So it's 6 ways of seeing. And it's meant to convey completeness. Each of these 6 philosophies shaped the development of Ayurveda and provided a framework for the development of Ayurveda in a systematic way. So in this presentation, we'll present each philosophy and the principles of it. We'll talk about some of the practical applications. We'll talk about how the philosophy influenced Ayurveda and also some differences from Ayurveda. And finally, we'll challenge each philosophy. What are the 6 systems? They're Sankhya and Yoga, Vaisheshika and Nyaya, and Mimamsa and Vedanta. And I put these in pairs because they go together. Under Sankhya and Yoga, I also put Buddhism as a number 7, just because Buddhism influenced Ayurveda also, and it's also so closely related to Sankhya. Sankhya provides the real basic spiritual understanding of ancient India. I think we should give that special mention here because it so heavily influenced all of these 6 systems and Buddhism. Vaisheshika and Nyaya, they're about what the world is and how you study it, and Mimamsa and Vedanta are a little bit more on the spiritual side of things. So I'll just go over a brief introduction to each pair. Sankhya, the word means enumeration, and Sankhya views all of reality as consisting of consciousness and matter. So the universe is not just a bunch of objects, but it's a bunch of objects on one side and then consciousness of those objects on the other. Yoga, the word means to yoke or to bind, and it's a tool for meditation and transcendence. Buddhism, the word bodhi means wisdom, and Buddha is the one who attained wisdom. So that makes Buddhism the way of wisdom or path of wisdom. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, is about what the world is made of, and then how do you study it. Mimamsa and Vedanta is concerned with the beginning and the end of the Vedas, or these spiritual texts. And Mimamsa means to analyze and understand truth, and Vedanta means ending of knowledge. Oh yeah, I wanted to point this out too. Vaisheshika means particular, and Nyaya means logic. So where do these philosophies come from? Well, ancient texts claim they were derived from wise men, or seers, enlightened individuals called rishis from the ancient Vedic period. And each school has its own main rishi, or major advocate. And that person is the person who systematized it. After intensive meditation in the mountains and ashrams of India, these individuals believed they were able to see the truth of life, and they wanted to share it with other people naturally. So they wrote down or passed it down, orally at first actually, not written, in small phrases called sutras, which are basically sentences in poetic meter. And that makes them easy to understand. The Ayurvedic texts are also written down in sutras, like samadosha, samagnischa, samadatu malakriya, right? That you can hear how that is in a poetic meter and a melody, and that it could become a mantra that you chant over and over again in order to understand some kind of truth. So that's how these are written. And then you can, by the end of our today's presentation, you can answer for yourself. Were these individuals wise? Did the philosophies they come up with represent the truth? So we're going to try to give you the tools to make that decision. These philosophies were eventually written down in what's called the Vedas, and the Vedas are the most ancient scriptural texts from India. The word Veda means knowledge or art or science. You'll notice that the word Ayurveda makes Ayurveda a knowledge, art, or science. But the Vedas in this context, the four of them, are basically the ancient sacred knowledge of India. They contain the earliest information about the 6 philosophies of life. We should say, the 6 philosophies of life were developed from these Vedic texts and from the ancient rishis. And there are 4 of them in total. The Rig Veda is the first Veda, and it's said to be the primary Veda. The Rig Veda contains some of the oldest surviving examples of Indo-European language linguistic family tree. So that is very interesting, very, very old, very ancient. And the Rig Veda is a source of mantras and rituals, and then later parts of the book discuss some philosophy. The Sama Veda is the second Veda, and Sama means song. And the Sama Veda is basically the Rig Veda set to music. All but 75 verses of the Sama Veda were taken from the Rig Veda. And the Sama Veda is basically the singing of mantras, and it's a liturgical text, has rituals in it. The Yajur Veda, Yaj means to worship, and this contains application of mantras. And the younger or later parts of the book include the primary Upanishads influential to the development of Hindu philosophy. Finally, the Atharva Veda is the fourth Veda, and it includes supplemental mantras as well, and rituals for practical everyday life issues like marriage and appointments to the court. By the way, Ayurveda is considered to be an applied knowledge or secondary knowledge of Atharva Veda. It's considered to be an Upa Veda.